Hey, good evening, everyone. It is just about 6:30. We're going to wait here for a few more seconds and let the clock hit 6:30, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Um, if you're watching, and if you could put something in the chat bar just to make sure I know that everything is good to go, then and you can hear me and everything, then we will go ahead and get started here in just a second. Um, Joining us tonight, we have Stacy Anderson, the principal at Choice and Cedar High Schools. Cedar's our new school in the district, and Stacy's waving to everybody. Um, so we're going to let Stacy, in a few minutes, we're going to turn it over to Stacy and let her present some information to our parents and our families tonight. And those of you that are watching, she's got some information she wants to share about, especially about Cedar High School, our new high school, and the programs they're going to be offering up there. But it's really going to be a neat opportunity for some of our kids in our district with a different approach to learning. And so we're going to turn it over to her in a second. But first, before we got started, I just wanted to thank all of our families for what I would consider a very successful fall conference week. We have right around 1,500 students registered at Shelton High School, and we had over 1,000 families that were signed up for our conferences. And given the fact that we're in, this pandemic and we're online and we're trying all these new technologies, I was very pleased with the number of families that were able to participate. If you were not able to participate and you still want to, you can. We will, if you want to email myself, I will have your son or daughter's advisory teacher reach out to you. So we would like to make sure that if you have questions, we get those answered. If you did participate in the conferences, thank you very much. And if you need to talk to any of your child's teachers, please let me know, and I'd be happy to reach out to the teacher and have them contact you. We're coming into the home stretch here to the end of the first trimester. And so now is a really important time that our kids, I think our kids are starting to become more engaged, and I think everybody understands the K-12 platform or the Google Classroom platform now. So we want to make sure we keep the momentum going through the end of the first trimester and carry that into the second trimester. I know that the second trimester is going to start a lot smoother than the first one did, because the first one was rough, and we know that. Everybody knows that. But I think now that everybody, including our staff, our families, our students, everybody understands the platform, I think we're going to get off to a much better start. One thing that we have learned from the first trimester is that it's been very difficult for our students to focus on 5 classes every single day. So we are going to be making a change for second trimester, and we're going to be going to more of a block schedule where students will have 3 classes on one day and then 2 classes the next day, and that will rotate on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday. And Wednesday will be an asynchronous day. If and when we do come back in a hybrid model, we will be able to stay in that schedule and continue that when we're back in the hybrid model. And it was really important that if we were going to make any changes, we were able to do that and maintain those changes if and when we return in a hybrid model. So I want to thank all the parents that participated in our survey. Well over 75% of our parents felt that going to a schedule where students didn't have to focus on every class every day would benefit our students. And it would take a little bit of stress off of our students and allow them to focus on a few more classes or fewer classes each day. So I will be sending out that information. We have a staff meeting tomorrow that will be sharing the final schedule, the final changes with our staff. And then after that, we will be getting that information out to our parents. So again, I want to thank all of our parents and our families that participated in the conferences, and also thank our families for participating in the survey. So now I'm going to just turn it over to Stacy and let her share some information with you And again, this is, I think, really good information about more options that our students have. We want to provide as many options as possible for our students in our district. And we want to address all different types of learning styles and everything for our students. And I think this is going to be a great option for some of our students. So Stacy, the floor is all yours.
Great. Well, thank you, Bruce. I really appreciate it. I first want to thank our Shelton High School partners, Bruce and his staff, June and the counselors and the other assistant principals at Shelton High School have been just a great support to us as we've been trying to start our new high school in this district, Cedar High School. A few of you may have heard of Cedar, hopefully. It is a brand new high school that we are currently rolling out. We started in the beginning of the school year in the pandemic, and we have a small number of students already enrolled in Cedar, but our goal is to have about 120 students by the end of the school year. We have capacity for that many students. So I am sharing my screen with you. On our website for the Shelton School District, there's a whole page about Cedar High School that has a lot of information for you. So I'll just briefly touch on a few things tonight. Most of the students in the Shelton School District find the perfect fit at Shelton High School, and we have great partnerships with them. But occasionally a student just wants to try something a little different. So Cedar High School is designed for students who want a very small learning environment. Our classes right now range anywhere from 15 to 20 students. And it's a very personalized feeling at Cedar High School. Teachers go by their first names. Students get to know each other really well. And one of the fun things, if your student decides they want to join Cedar High School, is that they will get to help with all the new stuff about a new high school, doing the student name, the student logo, coming up with some of the fun things like school t-shirts and things like that, the mascot, all of that kind of fun stuff students can get on the ground level of. But of course, we know that's not why students change schools. You know, they change schools due to it being the best academic fit. So I'll tell you just a little bit about Cedar here. So on our website, it'll tell you that Cedar we're using project-based learning for our instructional model. So students will get to delve into real-world, authentic problems, and they will be producing projects based on those problems. Now, when we're live and in person again, there'll be a lot of field trips, a lot of opportunity to connect with the community. But starting second trimester, even in virtual learning, we're going to be going to this project-based learning. So I just want to show you a few things about our website and tell you a little bit about it. So on the website, it tells you about Cedar High School, and it shows you what a typical school day will look like. So like Mr. Kipper just said, we all realize that in the virtual learning, it's been tough for students to engage in all of their 5 classes every day. So like he said, we will be going to Monday, Tuesday instruction, along with Thursday, Friday instruction, and an asynchronous day in the middle on Wednesday. But for our daily classes, a little different than what Shelton High is doing. The students have a morning check-in. Then they have a core class that's really a standard standalone class like Spanish, math, a couple of those types of classes. But then they'll have a block class where they're together with the same students for 2 periods. And through Zoom, hopefully eventually hybrid, they'll be able to work with a group of students in what's called interdisciplinary learning. So for example, they might have art and publishing together, or English and US history, or ecology and service learning. And they'll really get to dive deeply into those subjects within a 2-period block. So really during the school day, they'll have to worry about their first period class, their block period, their next block period. So that's 3 courses. And then the end of the day, they have an advisory class where we really do a lot of culture building, looking forward to careers and things like that. Now, at Cedar High School, we will be using primarily Zoom as our login method. And we won't be using much K-12. We will have K-12 for students who need an independent study or something like that. But students will be using a really neat platform called Echo that is managed by the New Tech Network, who we're partnering with. And like I said, there will be project-based instruction or learning for most of it. Now, also on our website, it talks about some of our interdisciplinary classes. We try to create the education to be holistic so students see how things are connected. So here's an example of one of them. English 9th and 10th grade differentiated for your students. So that means based on what grade you're in, you'll hit the standards you need to hit, but you might be in a mixed level class. And photography. So the teachers will have a theme. And this one is really talking about the images that are conveyed and how the internet has changed the way we consume and communicate information. So they'll be looking at that theme throughout the whole trimester and then creating projects around that theme as they go through the trimester. So one of the things you can do if you're interested in this school at all is hop on our website and read about some of these interdisciplinary classes that we have available to you all. We are really lucky to partner with the New Tech Network. New Tech is a nationwide company. They even have schools in Australia and some other places around the world. So they really emphasize deeper learning, and they emphasize that students need to gain knowledge in 5 different areas and skills in 5 different areas: written communication, oral communication, what's called agency, so how well they advocate for themselves, collaboration, and then of course knowledge and thinking. So they are graded on those 5 different areas. And I'm just going to go down here. New Tech has an excellent success rate, so you can read about it on here on the website. There's more than 20,000 high school graduates in the last 5 years that are part of this network. So the Cedar High School team is part of a network where they provide us with great curriculum, training for the teachers, and connections for the students. And you will see there's a 92% graduation rate and an 82% college persistent rate in New Tech schools. So we will be preparing your students for your college if that's what they are interested in. Tech pathways after high school, so career tech. And if they want to go directly into the world of work, we'll prepare them for that also. So if you're interested in learning a little bit about New Tech, we really encourage you to come on here. You can click the link. It'll take you right to the New Tech website, and you'll be able to learn all about this partnership that the Shelton School District's engaged in this year. Now, just a couple other things to let you know about. There are other things on here you can look up, like we have a slideshow that we did for our family night. So there's more information for you if you need it. And just go up to here. A little bit more information. One of the key ones is apply today. So if you are interested in Cedar High School, there's a checklist on here for how you can apply. One of the most important things is talk to your Shelton High School counselor. This is a great fit for some students, and it's not for others. One of our goals in the district, like Mr. Kipper said, is to find the right fit for every student. So if you think you might be interested in this, we really are trying to draw in students who love to collaborate, who want to be engaged in deep thinking on projects that are really meaningful to them, and who maybe see the world in a more holistic way. So if this is something that sounds kind of exciting to you, talk to your counselor. They have information about it. They can help you out, or browse our website. So the process is you would need to submit an application by Thursday, November 19th. Drop it off here, email it to our secretary, or just give it to your counselor. It's just fine. You'll have an orientation where you'll learn a little bit about the school 2 nights after school on November 23rd and 24th. And those are through Zoom. And maybe you think, oh yeah, this is great. I love this. Or maybe you go to the orientation, you're like, no, it's not for me. It's okay. You know, you can stay at Shelton High School. That's just fine. And then if you decide to join us at Cedar, your first day would be on November 30th. You would get a check-in appointment where you get to schedule your classes, and then you'd start on December 1st. So down here, we have all sorts of information for you. Everything from the applications in both English and Spanish. And then one really important thing that I want to show you before I hand it back to Mr. Kipper is we have a parent information night and student information night coming up this Thursday at 5:30. So you can find information about this on the Shelton School District website, on the Cedar website, Facebook, and that's where you can come and listen to information about Cedar for an hour, get your questions answered, and it tells you all about some of the things I mentioned, what skill areas you'll be diving into, you know, some of this information about how you interact with each other online and how much interaction there will be. So some students are doing great at K-12, and that's the great fit for them. Some might want a little more interaction in their daily routine. When we're back in person, there'll be lots of hands-on learning also. And so it'll be great for those people that feel like they're kinesthetic learners or they like to learn by doing. This will be in a Zoom room for this meeting. And like I said, it's available up on the website. Your counselors have information. So I don't want to take up too much time of your forum, Mr. Kipper, but I really appreciate you letting me talk about Cedar High School. And I will turn it back over to you, and I will stay for the rest of the meeting in case people have questions at some point.
Stacy, did you want to mention anything about choice at all, or?
Yes, I would love to mention about choice too. So the other school that I'm principal for is Choice High School, and Choice takes rolling applications, and I will pull up really quickly here just so you can see it on the home page. We are taking applications all the time at Choice, and Choice is a little bit different in terms of Choice is set up for students who really need a flexible schedule for whatever reason. And it is set up a lot in terms of a lot of what Mr. Kipper's talking about. The schedule for Shelton High School will be somewhat similar this next trimester. But in general, especially when we're in personal learning in person, Choice is set up that students attend about 10 hours a week, and then they do the rest of their learning at home or online. So it's kind of similar to virtual learning in some ways, but you can have a flexible schedule. So Choice tends to appeal to a lot of students who are, older, maybe they have to work or they're parenting. It also appeals to younger students who maybe just have a lot of anxiety, or they want to be in a situation that's, again, smaller. So on here, we have lots of different information about Choice. You can go in and learn about the history of the school, the daily schedule. Under classrooms, you can check out our teachers and see what's going on with them. And to apply to Choice, again, on the district website, there's this nice apply today. And that link didn't work quite right. Obviously, I have to fix that one. I apologize. So we'll go into it a different way. Up here on information, Oh, for some reason, our enrollment link is not working on that one. So I will definitely fix that really quickly here. Oh, there it is. Applications and enrollment right at the top. And that other link should have taken you to that page. I will fix that right after this. So it tells you about how to apply to Choice. And all the same thing, there's applications down here, brochures to tell you about Choice. And the application is really short. You just get it turned in. And with Choice, if you want to transfer over, again, talk to your counselors. They know the best about you. Talk to your family. And if you want to apply to Choice, we can get you enrolled here fairly quickly if we all determine it's the best fit for you. And we do allow that flexibility. For second trimester, we'll be offering, most students will take 3 classes at a time for 6 weeks. Get those classes checked off and then start in on another 3 classes so that you don't have too much on your plate at once. So we do offer a lot of those classes through Google Classroom too, because some students, we're just finding K-12 is not the perfect fit for them, but we have some other options. So thank you for that, Mr. Kipper, and I will hand it back over to you.
So we have one question so far. We talked about, Shelton High School going to this block schedule with Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday, and then with Wednesday being asynchronous. Is Choice going, what is the schedule going to be? What is it now? What will it be second trimester at Choice?
Great question. So right now, Choice is Monday through Thursday for the rest of first trimester, and then students do not have classes on Friday. They work independently on their work. Starting next trimester, to align with Shelton High and the rest of the district, we are also going to be going to classes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at both Cedar and Choice. Students will have what's called an asynchronous day on Wednesday, where they're working on their work at home independently. And for Choice, there is a lot of an option to have either some direct instruction if you want to, or more of independent study work as you need to for your work schedule, your home schedule, which I think Shelton High has accommodated that a lot this year too.
Okay, awesome, great. Thank you for that information, Stacy. Anything else you want to say before we don't have any more questions right now, but is there anything else you want to share, or is that pretty much everything?
I would just say that I think the beautiful thing about this school district is we have, a traditional high school that has a lot of class offerings. If you choose to go to Choice or Cedar, you lose out a little bit on those variety of offerings, but you do gain a very small school environment where if it's the right fit for you, it might be a great fit. So please just talk to your counselors, talk to your family, and Choice has been around our community for a long time, 30 plus years, but Cedar is brand new. And our hope is that next year Cedar will be located on, its own campus, and eventually it'll be up to 400 students, where it's a vibrant third high school option in the Shelton School District. So thank you, Mr. Kipper, for sharing that time with us.
Yeah, and then
for any more questions.
And then also one of our counselors, Ms. Worsbicky, has posted in the chat box that she has information about Cedar in the Freshman Academy Google Classroom. So if you have a freshman, they can find information there.
Great, thank you.
So we have a question with regards to, and I'm assuming, Maurice, I'm assuming you're talking about when we go to the new schedule, second trimester, where they have Wednesdays an asynchronous day. And yes, so the question is, do students need to log in on Wednesday for attendance? The answer would be yes. If you're talking about trimester 2, when we're on the block schedule and Wednesday is a totally asynchronous day, yes, the students would need to log into all 5 of their classes on that day only. The other days, they would only need to log in on the classes they have that day. So Wednesday would be the only day where it's an asynchronous day and they would log into all of their classes. So if that's not what your question was and I misinterpreted it, you can please put another question in the chat and I will correct my answer. But I think that's what you're referring to. One thing, and while we're waiting to see if anybody else has any questions, one of the things that we've found out from our conferences, from our families, was that there's a lot, and this came from from a lot of the students that were involved in the conference with their parent or guardian, was with regards to student motivation, and that many of our students were having trouble just kind of finding that inner motivation with regards to logging on every day, making sure they're doing their assignments in this what I would call a more flexible environment. They don't always have an adult standing over them or in the room with them to kind of urge them on. So we will be announcing some other changes when we go to trimester 2 in the block schedule with regards to live sessions and classes. So if you have ideas, and again, I'm all ears when it comes to how we can make this better. We've had a lot of parents contact us, giving us suggestions, and we've implemented a lot of those suggestions. And so if you have suggestions on how best to motivate your child or just a teenager in general in this environment, and if you found things that work at home, we're more than willing to have that conversation and listen, because we want to make sure that all of our students are doing the best they can. So we have another question, Stacy, with regards. It says, will check-ins change at choice? Are parents, guardians supposed to be part of the check-ins?
That is a great question. Thank you for that question. We will still have check-ins at choice, and we'd love to have the parents and guardians be part of the check-ins. It's a great time. So for choice, we do them every month, and we're going to be publishing on our website soon the dates for the whole year. We try to do the last couple dates of the month. So because we won't have our because Wednesdays will be our asynchronous day, we'll probably do the check-ins like on a Thursday and Friday of the last week of the month, but we'll post those up. And the advisors set those up through Zoom. And if you've not, I'm reading the chat here too. Okay. So yeah, we do want parents to be part of those check-ins. So I will check who your advisor is, because I recognize the name on the chat, and have them give you an email, because we are trying to have the parents involved in all of those check-ins, and the advisors are trying to contact the parents through either email or phone calls to get them set up for those check-ins. So I think we've dropped the ball if you have not been to those, so I do apologize, but yes, we would love to have the parents at all of those.
Great. Thank you for the question, Crystal. Also, while we're waiting to see if there's any more questions, I just want to encourage all of our students to log into advisory tomorrow at the scheduled time of 9:57. We'll be having a special presentation in honor of Veterans Day. I want to personally just thank all of our community members and our families and our staff that are veterans. I myself am not a veteran, but I can tell you that I am grateful and indebted to all of our veterans for all of their sacrifices, so that we all, including myself, can live the life we live. And I know we have I know there's always differences, and everybody has a way of seeing the world, but I know that the world would be a lot different if it wasn't for our veterans and for our active military and for those that have been in the military. So if you're a veteran, thank you very much for your service. I've seen the presentation that's going to be shown tomorrow. I think every one of our students should see it. It's very well done. and provides a history of Veterans Day, and I learned a lot from it. And there's a very inspirational video, about a 12-minute video that I think that all of our students should see. We are going to put it on our school Facebook page so our families and our parents and guardians can also see it, and community members. So if you would just really encourage your son or daughter to log on at 9:57 tomorrow into their advisory class and be a part of and watch the presentation in honor of Veterans Day. So right now, we don't have any other questions right now. And if there are, please go ahead and put them in the chat room. And I know as we've got on, we've tried to answer all of your questions as we go through. And again, if for some reason you don't have access to put something in the chat bar, I would encourage you to email me at school. My email is bkipper, so first letter B as in boy, KIPPER @sheltonschools.org. And I will answer all your questions. And if I don't have the answer, I will find the answer and get back to you as quickly as I can.
Mr. Kipper, I'll just jump in and add too. I really appreciate what you said about Veterans Day. I can't wait to see the presentation Shelton High School has. And I also want to thank our veterans. My father and grandfather both served, although I did not. And if you happen to know a Choice or Cedar student, we also have a presentation tomorrow for Veterans Day. So I'm pretty excited. And of course, as most of you know, we have Wednesday off in honor of Veterans Day. So some people found it was strange to be in the middle of the week. So hopefully everybody's aware that Wednesday is the day that students will not have school. Yeah,
thank you for that. I forgot to mention that myself. It is kind of weird having it on Wednesday instead of a Monday. But and along with in recognizing the Veterans Day presentation, I want to thank our leadership class at Shelton High School. The students in the leadership class, along with Wendy Burr, the teacher, put together this presentation with the help of a couple of other staff members. And I think it's excellent. I think it's just done really well. And I want to thank those students and Ms. Burr for doing this. And as we go through the school year, the leadership students will be involved in more activities and in school-wide presentations as we go through. But they're really stepping up to the plate and doing great work in there. And so I really appreciate those students and Ms. Burr for doing this. So I don't see any other questions at this point. Again, if anybody has any questions, we don't want to keep you if there's no reason to. We'll give it just another minute or two if you want to type in any questions, and if not, then we'll all be going on our way. So we'll wait here a minute and see what happens, Stacy.
Sounds great.
Okay. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we're going to have anything. So, Stacy, I want to thank you for coming on tonight and sharing that information. The one thing I really appreciate about this district, more so than other districts I've worked in, is how willing everybody is to communicate with each other and to collaborate and to share. And we all want what's best for our kids. And so if I can be of any help, or if Miss Anderson can be of any help, please do not hesitate to reach out to either one of us. I know that Miss Worsbicky's on here tonight, so thank you, Susie, for being on here, as always, and answering any type of questions that I can't. It's always nice to have somebody who's been around a while that can answer questions that I may not know yet. So, Susie, thank you for being on here again. And if you have a freshman, please reach out to Susie if you have questions at Shelton High School. And if you don't have freshmen, you can reach out to her and she'll put you in contact with your child's counselor. But anyway, So we're going to go ahead and let everybody go tonight. And thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you around and have a great night. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks,
you, Bruce.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
See you later.